Here we are on page 611 in lesson 18, looking at problem number 16. And it reads, Mischief, that's the dog name. Look at that mischievous face. Mischief. Mischief is an Alaskan Malamute dog that competes with her trainer in the agility course. Within the course, Mischief must leap through a hoop. Mischief's jump can be modeled by the equation h equals negative 16t squared plus 12t, where h is the height of the leap in feet, and t is the time since the leap in seconds. And then we're asked to find out at what values of t, basically how long, does Mischief start and end the jump. So if we think about Mischief's jump here, we'll zoom in on Mischief over here on the right. Mischief jumped from back here somewhere, going through the hoop, and then he's going to land on the ground here. So basically where Mischief starts the jump is on the ground, and then Mischief's jumping forward to jump on the ground. And the consistent thing about starting and ending a jump on the ground is that if you're on the ground, the height on the ground of Mischief's jump is 0. Because if Mischief jumps from the ground and ends the ground, he or she ends and starts at a height of 0. So basically, this is what we now can do. We can take this equation, which I have in red. The height of Mischief is the effective gravity, negative 16 feet per second squared, times t, which is time in seconds squared, plus 12t. And again, we are finding out now where height is 0, which is basically going to sub in 0 for h. Sweet. So let me actually just adjust this up so I have a little bit more room to work with. Cool. So by replacing h with 0, what we've done is we have taken a quadratic, a second power polynomial equation, and set it equal to 0, which is awesome because anytime an equation, specifically one with an exponent, is set equal to 0, what we could do is use the 0 product property to factor and solve. So let's do that. Now, what that means is I actually have to factor this right side down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for a GCF amongst these two terms. Notice that there aren't 3 terms here. There is no regular number over here, what we usually call a C value. So I don't have to worry about making this into an even number of terms, aka expanding the middle to factor by grouping, because guess what? I already have an even number of terms, a group of 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for a GCF amongst those 2 terms. And I'm going to look at the numbers first. Both negative 16 and positive 12 are multiples of 4. So you could say, all right, take a 4 out of both. Let me write that in red. Negative 16 divided by 4 is negative 4. And 12 factored out, aka divided by 4, is 3. Notice I haven't even touched the t's yet. Okay. What else do they both have in common? Well, I just said it. They both have a t. So I can also take a t out. So realistically, what that means to me, and let me kind of resize this here, is that my GCF amongst both terms, what both these things have in common is that they can both be divided by 4 and both be divided or remove a t. When you take a t out of a t squared, let me just write this down here. T squared is the same thing as t times t. So if I take a t out of it, well, all I'm left with is 1t. And naturally, if I take the t out of the 12t, I don't have a t there anymore because it was removed. So now what I've done is I have factored, and I have a factored form for t times negative 4t plus 3, my 2 factors, and they're equal to 0. So the 0 product property states that I could take both factors, 4t and negative 4t plus 3, set them equal to 0, and solve. So now all I got to do is do that process, get rid of division over here by dividing both sides by 4, boom, t is equal to 0. Now all I got to do on this right side is subtract 3 from both sides. Negative 4t is now equal to negative 3. Divide both sides by negative 4. Isolating t to be equal to -3 divided by -4. Well, a negative divided by negative will make a positive. 3 divided by 4 is 3/4, or for you decimal people, 0.75. And in the context of this problem, what that means for mischief here is that mischief starts, I'm not gonna make mischief a girl. Her jump at 0 seconds and hits the ground after 0.75 seconds, 3/4 second. That's a pretty quick jump, mischief. Probably not going to have any kind of 3-4 seconds, but hey, who am I to judge? Mischief is obviously a talented dog if she's running through agility courses, and that's the problem.